Vladin's Bloody Tragedy was an adult fantasy romance novel. The male lead was the son of a concubine, cast aside by his own mother, forced to grow up amidst the indifference of everyone in the lavish royal palace. He harbored a deep resentment for his younger brother, who was adored by all. He then entered into a political marriage, only to find his new wife was no different from his mother. She reawakened the love and hatred within him. Needless to say, the story then developed in a way that lived up to its title. Luce scrolled through the reader discussion on her phone. Okay, I've got the main gist. Let's see the comments first. The comments flooded in. This is tagged 19 plus for the sheer violence. Wow, I've read a lot of fantasy romance, but nothing this brutal. I wish I could go back in time to before I read Volume 3. I should never have read that last chapter. If you're looking for adult content, just buy Volume 2. Volume 1 is all set up, and in Volume 3, the male lead goes dark and slaughters everyone. But he looks so cute in the description. This isn't my style at all. Is Volume 3 really the most violent? She quickly tapped like with a faint smile. Someone telling me not to read it just makes me more curious. Luce was intrigued by the novel she was researching. Suddenly she blushed and let out a shriek that startled those around her. Oh my god, my heart's racing. I keep scrolling and scrolling and it's nothing but steamy scenes. And it's super violent. Did they tag this 19 plus for the brutality or what? She quickly covered her screen and sighed. I'll finish this at home. I can't read this here. Suddenly, someone screamed. In that same moment, she found herself in front of a truck. Miss, look out! Luce's eyes widened at the approaching headlights. They say that before you die, your life's beautiful memories flash before your eyes. But at that moment, the only thing I thought was, please don't let anyone see my phone. In the next moment, Luce woke up in a strange world, her mind in a jumble. Oh God, why am I... Just then, a voice chided her. Did you fall asleep again? Her face was a mask of confusion. The woman, Chelsea, continued. I told you to go pick mushrooms for dinner. Luce's mind reeled. What mushrooms? I don't know how to pick them. Who is this? You complain so much. The second you find a comfortable spot, you just lie down. Luce couldn't process what was happening. What the hell is going on? Chelsea scolded. Are you not listening to me? Her voice trembled. Mom? The woman narrowed her eyes in annoyance. Why are you talking to me like I'm a stranger? Luce looked around and asked, Where is this? Who am I? Chelsea lectured, Still not fully awake? You're Luce. This is the mountain behind Xenon Village, where we live. Xenon Village was a small village deep in the mountains, on the border of the Vladin Kingdom. She froze in terror. The Vladin Kingdom? Could it be the Vladin Kingdom from Vladin's Bloody Tragedy? Don't tell me I've been reincarnated into a violent, bloody 19-plus novel. Time passed. A week later, Chelsea called out, Luce, come and eat. Luce had come to terms with her situation. I made a stew with the mushrooms you picked earlier, her mother said. She quickly praised it. It looks delicious. Luce adapted to the new atmosphere, smiling brightly. Let's eat, Mom. Chelsea instructed. There's plenty more. Just let me know if you want another bowl. She replied, Okay, in that case, I'll have 2. Her mother reminded her affectionately, Don't be so greedy. Her name was Luce. Her father had died of a serious illness when she was very young. She lived with her mother, whose name was Chelsea. The village was called Xenon, in a mountainous region far from the capital. As Luce enjoyed her food, she was lost in thought. In other words, this is the perfect place for me to live without a care in the world. Life in the palace is full of fierce competition. But for me, living a simple life in a humble home, I have nothing to worry about. Chelsea asked with concern, Is it good? Luce praised her endlessly. It's delicious. Her mother beamed with pride. Of course it's good. I made it. The scene unfolding before her warmed her heart. Hot food, a loving family. Her mother wondered, Why are you staring at me all of a sudden? Luce smiled and replied, It's nothing. Her heart was pounding. This is the ideal life I've always dreamed of. Chelsea mentioned, Someone's coming to fix our roof this afternoon. She answered obediently, Okay. The workers up high complained, This roof is always having problems, isn't it? Another agreed, That's because it's old. From below, her mother called up, Thank you for always helping me fix it. Suddenly, Dahlia spoke up. Chelsea was surprised. Look who's here. The auntie started, Fixing the roof again? I brought some apples. Would you like some? Chelsea was embarrassed. But you just gave me potatoes the other day. I feel bad always taking things from you. Dahlia replied, Don't feel bad. Just take them. We have to help each other out. Standing nearby, Luce thought, This is Aunt Dahlia. They'll probably be talking for a while. I'll go for a walk. She left, smiling happily as she took in the atmosphere. Her leather shoes glided lightly over the grass. I feel like I've hit the jackpot. At first, I was so worried about being reincarnated into a tragic world like this. But look at this peaceful place. Country villages are the best. Just then, a helpless voice caught Luce's attention. Stop it! Aurelio's voice was weak. Give me back my glasses. Vincent continued to tease him. I can't hear you. If you ask a little nicer, maybe I'll think about it. Then he shoved the boy's hand away. You stop it! From a distance, Luce wondered. What are those kids doing? Are they bullying that boy? Aurelio shouted, Give them back to me! Vincent made things difficult. If you didn't want us to take them, why were you sitting here reading and blocking our way? The boy retorted, Why don't you guys go play somewhere with more space? But Aurelio lost his footing and was about to fall. Then he tumbled into the water to the jeers of the other kids. The unexpected event made her cry out in alarm. No! The mean kids continued their taunts. Look at you, soaked to the bone. You like the water that much? Don't tell me it's because you can't see without your glasses. He continued his game. Hey guys, what should we do with these glasses? Should we stomp on them? Suddenly, Luce's voice cut in. Hey, you! She rushed forward furious and yelled, You bullies! In that moment, Aurelio's eyes seemed to light up with a million stars. She gently wiped away the beads of sweat from her brow. A whole group of you ganging up on one person. Then Luce slowly approached the edge of the water. Her face was fresh and she asked with concern, Are you okay? Luce held her hand out to him. If you're okay, take my hand. Droplets of water ran down Aurelio's hair to his chin. At that moment, his face clearly showed a mix of gratitude and the first stirrings of a crush. Luce said with concern, Did you hear me? Come on, take my hand. In her heart, she felt a stir of admiration. This boy, his eyes are so beautiful, they're like gemstones. Just then, Vincent's angry voice rang out. Hey, Luce, why are you butting in? Girls shouldn't meddle in other people's business. His words made Luce furious. She yelled, Why are you bullying him? He didn't do anything wrong. The boy retorted, Didn't do anything wrong? Look at his eyes. Vincent pointed at the sad boy. His eyes are as red as blood. But Luce's reply stunned Aurelio. So what? Vincent was confused. Are you stupid? Red is the color of a curse. She chided him. Stop being so childish. That's such an old-fashioned way of thinking. Her mother had told Luce that this kingdom was often at war, so people considered the red color of blood a bad omen. But it's not his fault his eyes are red. What about my hair color? Her words made him freeze. It's red, too. Are you guys going to bully me for my hair color? Maybe I should tell my mom that my dad died because my hair color is a bad omen, huh? Her words made the boy uncomfortable. No, that's not what I meant. Luce gently touched the end of her hair and cut him off. Yes, it is. Mom, what did I do wrong for Vincent to say my hair is cursed? Seeing her pitiful act, Vincent's eyes welled up with tears. He threw the glasses down and ran off. Whatever, do what you want. Watching them scatter, Luce picked up the glasses. She sighed. You little kids think you can mess with me? Then Luce turned and handed them to Aurelio. Here, take these. He took them, his sparkling eyes wide, and replied, Thank you. The moment their hands touched, she flinched slightly. Luce sensitively noticed the other person's reaction. His hand is shaking so much. Is he really that weak? She helped him up, her voice full of concern. You must be freezing, right? Get out of the water, quickly. Aurelio was surprised. Huh? Luce reminded him. Huh? Your hand is shaking badly. You'll get sick like this. Let me take you home. Where do you live? Aurelio's face turned beet red. My house? A little while later, they were walking together. Luce asked doubtfully, This is your house? He replied, Yes. She looked around, puzzled. That's strange. I didn't know there was a house like this here. Aurelio urged her. Come in. Luce agreed. Okay. The moment she stepped into the house, she was astonished by the space. Luce exclaimed, Your house is like a secret library. There are so many books here, he explained. I like to read. She was curious. What are those over there? Did you write all of them yourself? Aurelio answered, I write sometimes. Luce was full of admiration. That's amazing. Can I look around your house? He was flustered. There's not much to see. She looked expectant. I'm sure there is. There are so many interesting things. Aurelio agreed. All right, if you want to. Thank you so much. Suddenly having a guest over without any preparation for her to see everything, all of it goes against etiquette and common sense. So why don't I have any ill feelings toward her? Suddenly, Luce glanced over at him, making Aurelio flustered. She reminded him, Aren't you going to change your clothes? Are you afraid I'll touch something? Why are you still standing there? He quickly explained, It's not that, it's just that it's rude to leave a guest alone. Luce smiled brightly. Is that so? You have very good manners. I'll be fine. Go get changed before you catch a cold. Aurelio replied, I'll be right back then. Just wait a moment. Luce said, Why, go ahead. She thought to herself, He's so cute. And then she made a decision. Now time to explore this place a little. Luce's hand gently touched the pages. She mused, if he's read all these books, he must be very smart, right? He's a little strange, but he's definitely very kind. Maybe he's a bit withdrawn because he loves to study. I think there's a word to describe that kind of person. Suddenly, a thought popped into Luce's head. Maybe it's... That's right, he's a bookworm. After he comes back, I want to ask him a few more questions. Luce picked up an object with curiosity. Is this his drink? What is that awful smell? Is it safe to drink this? Or has it gone bad? Then suddenly the bottle slipped from her hands. Luce jumped. That scared me. Am I hungry? Did my stomach think this was food? Just then Aurelio's cold voice rang out. What are you doing? She turned her head, her voice a little hesitant. I was just... At that moment, his face was filled with gloom. Luce was confused and felt a sense of guilt. Is he mad because I was touching his things? Aurelio's face became incredibly frightening. Seeing him approach, Luce got scared. I'm sorry, I promise it won't happen again. Her words made Aurelio bewildered. Why are you apologizing? He brought over a basket. I have some cookies. Would you like one? Luce was surprised. Cookies? A moment later, she exclaimed, Oh my God, these are the best cookies I've ever had. How can cookies for a guest be this delicious? She said aloud, Thank you, they're delicious. Aurelio replied, I'm glad you like them. She was curious. Are you new to the village? When did you get here? He answered, 4 days ago. Luce was stunned. I knew it. No wonder this is the first time I've seen you. Aurelio smiled brightly. It's a pleasure to meet you. Suddenly, she grew curious. Hey, isn't this strange? This place was just an empty lot a few days ago, wasn't it? It was already here when I moved in. You probably just didn't notice. I have a question. Are all these books yours? He scratched his head in embarrassment. Yes, these are all my books. Luce praised him. You're really smart. These books look very difficult. Aurelio explained. Those over there are all philosophy books. She astutely observed, You must really like philosophy, huh? His explanation horrified her. At first, I was interested in metaphysics, so I started to look into it. But the difference in perception between theory and substance. In other words, if essentialism and value theory pursue substance and matter, then epistemology is directed towards human nature. In short, the reward depends on the relationship between theory and substance. But the premise of this has been broken by methodology. The materialization must. Luce thought to herself, this kid is getting way too into his hobby. He's very knowledgeable and has a world of his own. He really is a bookworm. Then suddenly, Aurelio realized he had said too much and apologized. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Suddenly, he started coughing violently, making her jump up in concern. Are you okay? Why are you coughing so much all of a sudden? Is it because you fell in the water earlier? Aurelio opened a medicine bottle and replied, No, I'll be fine after I take this. Luce stood to the side, intending to stop him, but the medicine had a very unpleasant smell. She asked, What kind of medicine is that? Aurelio explained, This is a special medicine just for me. A sense of pity rose in Luce's heart. What kind of illness does he have that requires medicine like that? She said aloud, I see. A moment later, Luce was lost in thought. It would be a bit rude to ask what his illness is right now, wouldn't it? She fell silent, her eyes darting around. Suddenly, Luce spoke up, startling Aurelio. I'm going home for a bit, huh? You're leaving already? Wait. But Luce left anyway, leaving Aurelio alone in the house. He suddenly felt a sense of unease. Did I do something wrong? What was it? Did I talk too much? Or was it because I coughed and took medicine while we were eating? No. Maybe she realized there's something strange about this place. As memories of the cold palace flashed back, a mysterious person had once warned him, Your Highness, remember this. Do not let anyone know your identity. Of course, I will still cast a spell to brainwash the entire village to protect you, if any variable appears, no matter who it is. Thinking of this, Aurelio unconsciously clenched his fist. He turned his face away, glancing around. Aurelio's eyes widened with a hint of confusion. It's strange. After being criticized, ignored, and abandoned for so long because of my red eyes, I should be numb to it by now. So why do I feel so lost right now? Suddenly, a voice from outside pulled him from his thoughts. Hey, open the door! Luce walked in, smiling brightly. Sorry, I just went home for a bit. Aurelio was curious. What's that? She explained. It's my mom's mushroom stew. Taking medicine on an empty stomach can give you a stomachache. It's still warm. Hurry up and eat. He was touched. Thank you. So that's why you ran off so quickly. Luce felt bad. Sorry, I wanted to bring it here as fast as I could. Is it good? He replied, Yes, it's delicious. She was happy. That's great. Hurry and eat some more. By the way, I still don't know your name. What's your name? I'm Lucette. You can call me Luce. Aurelio replied softly. My name is Levinas. You can call me Lev. From that day on, we became friends, and Lev's house became our own private hideout. A happy voice echoed in the house. I solved it. A puzzle cube was perfectly arranged. Luce was full of admiration. You're amazing, Lev. You might be a genius. He shyly denied it. It's not that big of a deal. I still have a lot to learn. She was surprised. Oh my God, if you have a lot to learn, what does that make me? There are so many things I don't know, and is it that hard to make me happy? Aurelio retorted, not at all, you're the one who makes me happy. Luce was bewildered. What? His voice was full of gratitude. You come here to hang out with me. You spend time talking to me. That makes me very happy. This is the first time I've ever gotten to do things like this. I'm so happy I wish it could be like this forever. She smiled like the sun and replied, it doesn't seem that hard, does it? We can be like this forever. Here, let's pinky promise. Then you and I can be friends forever. Aurelio agreed. I'll remember this. Just then, Chelsea's voice interrupted their conversation. Luce, are you in here? Mom? She scolded her affectionately. You little rascal, I knew you'd be here. Aurelio bowed his head sincerely. Hello, ma'am. Chelsea replied. Hello, Lev. How have you been? You came empty-handed again, didn't you? I told her she has to bring a gift when she visits a friend's house. He was polite. Thank you for the gift, ma'am. She laughed. Hanging out with my kid must be a headache, huh? Aurelio retorted, not at all. I have a lot of fun. I just learned that you're supposed to bring a gift when you visit someone's house. But have you seen her visit anyone else in the village? Luce stepped in, making her mother's face darken. Mom, we're friends. We hang out together. How can we bring a gift every time? Chelsea sighed helplessly beside her. Oh my, look at these two kids. A little while later, she said goodbye to Aurelio. Okay, Lev, see you tomorrow. I'm heading home. He told her, get home safe. Suddenly, Luce gently patted Aurelio on the head. She smiled and said, don't be too bored when I'm not here, okay? He froze, watching Luce's back, then unconsciously raised his hand to touch the spot she had just touched. Aurelio made a decision. What's wrong with me? The more I'm with her, the less I want us to be apart. I want to be with you a little longer. Chelsea was curious. Luce, you've gotten close to that boy recently, haven't you? Luce replied, he knows a lot of things. It's fun to be with him. Her mother continued gently, so I guess you'll be going to the festival with him, right? Hearing this, she got excited. The festival? I said I wanted to join the fun competition. People would pair up and participate in many fun events at the Rodante Festival. Each event had its own rules, and the fun competition was only for children aged 13 to 17. Luce sat in her room staring at a piece of paper in frustration. But why the fun competition? Could it be because the winner gets to go to the capital? That's right, if you live on a mountain like this, of course you'd want to visit the capital. She hesitated. But I don't really care about that. What if I go to the capital and get caught up in some plot from the novel? It was hard enough to find a peaceful life like this. I don't want to bring trouble upon myself. Wait, the prize for second place is money? 2 million gold coins? With that much money, I wouldn't have to worry about living expenses for a long time. If I join the competition with Lev, maybe we can get second place. The next day, she imagined people talking. What a shame. Luce's team only got second place. Aurelio was curious. Luce, why didn't you answer the last question? Luce replied calmly, because I only wanted to get second place. Inside, she was ecstatic. We're rich, Lev. A little while later, Luce was walking down the road, excited. I'll bribe him with my mom's stew. He definitely won't be able to refuse. Suddenly, she stopped in her tracks when she saw the glowing house. Luce asked herself, why is there a light coming from Lev's house? Inside the house, Aurelio was injured, his arm bleeding profusely. Labdanum's voice was mocking. It's just a small wound. Why are you making such a fuss, Your Highness? All your thoughts are reflected in this gem. Your Highness, I advise you to give up the idea of resisting. You just need to live here until you die. I hope my advice will be useful. Let me treat your wound. He looked at the wound and asked softly, do you have something to do here? The man replied, yes, I'll see you again, Your Highness. Just then, her voice rang out, startling Aurelio. Lev, are you home? His eyes immediately became extremely wary. Labdanum crossed his arms, curious. You've made a friend? Aurelio shooed him away. It's none of your business. The man commented softly, with your fickle temperament, you've allowed someone to get close. I'm curious what kind of person it is. Suddenly, his hand clamped down on the man's wrist. Aurelio's voice carried a threatening pressure. Don't make me say it again. Get out. Labdanum placed a hand on his chest respectfully. Yes, Your Highness, I will obey. But don't forget, you shouldn't be so lenient. It wouldn't be difficult to make a few people in this village disappear. His words unconsciously made Aurelio fall silent. The moment he saw her figure, he called out her pet name softly, Luce. She turned her head when she heard him and quickly replied, Lev. He said in a low voice, Sorry, have you been waiting long? Aurelio noticed his mood seemed a bit off. Did I make him wait that long? She called out softly, Hey, Lev. Suddenly, Luce's voice carried a hint of displeasure. Lev! Hearing her tone, he became worried. If it's not that, could she have overheard my conversation with Labdanum? But her reaction startled Aurelio. Why is there blood on your shirt? Are you hurt somewhere? What's this? You're not hurt, you must have brushed up against something. He mused. It seems she didn't hear the conversation. So you were worried because you thought I was hurt? Luce's expression was very sincere. Of course I saw blood on your sleeve. But why is your shirt so dirty? Aurelio replied, I don't know. I'm sorry for making you worry. She reminded him, You don't have to apologize to me. As long as you're not hurt anywhere, it's fine. I brought some of my mom's stew. Let's go eat. By the way, what were you doing in your room just now? He answered. I was just reading. Aurelio's heart felt warm. Being with Luce makes me very happy. It would be dangerous if she knew too much. He spoke hesitantly. Luce, can I ask you for a favor? From now on, don't go up to the second floor, okay? She was surprised. The second floor, if you want. But in return, you should pay more attention to the door. Aurelio felt bad. I'm sorry. I'll be more careful next time. Luce smiled brightly. Then promise you'll answer before I knock for the 10th time, okay? He was determined. 10 times. Okay, I promise. She put her hands on her hips and requested. Then I have one more request. Join the competition at the Rodante Festival with me. Aurelio was stunned. A competition? Luce replied. I can't participate alone. Her words made him freeze. I think it would be best to participate with you. Aurelio lowered his eyes in embarrassment. Luce, I don't think I'm suited for this competition. She wondered, why? With your knowledge, we could win a prize. Are you afraid we won't get first place? He hesitated. Well, Luce reassured him, you don't need to feel pressured. She sighed and comforted him. If you don't want to, just say no. Her words startled him. I'll go ask Dominic then. Aurelio's hand clenched the paper. Someone else with Luce instead of me? I don't want that. And then he smiled. I'll join with you, Luce. I'll do my best. Luce was immediately overjoyed. That's great. Thank you, Lev. Aurelio promised. I'm not very confident, but I'll try. She praised him. Oh, come on. You're already so good. Let's do our best together. On the day of the festival, Luce exclaimed as she looked around, This is amazing. I've been waiting for this day for so long. She looked him seriously in the eyes. Lev, are you ready? Aurelio said. Hey, Luce, let's go. Luce secretly assessed him. Why does he seem so enthusiastic today? This is the first time I've seen Lev dressed so nicely. Was he also looking forward to the festival? He was embarrassed and asked tentatively, Do I look weird? Luce praised him. Not at all, you look great. But aren't you hot wearing that today? It's okay. There's sure to be something for you to change into, she mused. Does he only have a plaid jacket? But he'll be too hot in this. Luce asked, Lev, are these all the clothes you have? He replied, That's all. She promised, There must be something. Try this on. A little while later, Aurelio said shyly, What do you think, Luce? Is it okay? Luce praised him. It suits you. The material is thin, so it's not hot, right? He asked tentatively. Do you like it? Luce turned away in embarrassment. Of course, I didn't expect it to suit you so well. Aurelio was happy. That's good. I want to wear what you like. Luce's face immediately turned red with embarrassment. What? If anyone heard that, they'd get the wrong idea. She stepped forward and suggested, Lev, your hair is a mess. Let me fix it. He agreed. Okay. Luce thought to herself. To be honest, he shouldn't say things like that to anyone. Suddenly, her hand stopped. He looked up and asked, What's wrong? Is there something on my face? Luce quickly explained, It's nothing. She realized his glasses don't seem to have a prescription. Why is that? Suddenly, Aurelio reminded her, Luce, we should go. I think the carriage is here. Luce replied, Okay. Here, wear this. My mom knitted it for you. He obeyed. Thank you. Suddenly, someone called from a distance. Luce! She turned her head and replied, Dominic. He approached, his voice curious. Are you two going to the festival together? I thought you were going with me. Lev quickly forced a smile. Sorry. Dominic was sulky. That's a bummer. But I guess it can't be helped. My name's Dominic. What's your name? He replied, Levinas? The boy wondered. Levinas. I just heard Luce call you Lev. Suddenly, Aurelio's voice grew colder. Call me Levinas. Dominic suggested, If I'm bothering you, just let me know. I'll teach you how to play ball and take you to see the sights. She retorted, What? I'm not bothering him. Suddenly, Aurelio's voice was cold. No. His voice was very firm. That will never happen. The boy ran his hands through his hair and ran off. Oh my God, whatever. You guys do what you want. This is so annoying, she called out softly. Dominic. Aurelio turned to smile at Luce. Luce, let's get in the carriage. After that, the two of them gently boarded the carriage. She fell into thought. Why was Lev so cold to Dominic? He didn't even let Dominic call him by his nickname. Is it because he's not used to Dominic yet? I saw you seemed to like these last time, so I brought some. Really? She smiled brightly. I'm so touched. Luce secretly concluded. Lev probably just needs more time. She placed her hand on the window pane and gazed outside. Suddenly, Luce let out a long yawn. He sensitively suggested, Luce, do you want to sleep for a bit if you're tired? She asked coquettishly, Can I lean on you? After that, Luce's eyes quickly closed and she said, I'll just sleep for a bit then. Aurelio blushed as he watched her lean on his shoulder. His eyes were incredibly affectionate, carrying an undisguised fondness. Aurelio spoke. Luce, if you want me to be friends with Dominic, I will. If you want me to join the competition or anything else, I'll do that too. But that name, I only want it to be yours because the only one who can call me by that name is its owner, Lev. His voice emphasized, that name belongs only to you. She was still fast asleep, completely unaware of his words. The scene shifted to the royal palace in the capital of the Vladan kingdom. Hurried footsteps echoed in the space. The door was pushed open violently and a breathless voice called out, Labdanum. Delma said worriedly, What should I do? Brother Aurelio is gone. I asked Mother, but she didn't say anything. Do something, Labdanum. The man bowed calmly. Your Highness, what would you have me do? The boy pleaded, Take me to him. Labdanum reminded him, But don't you think he has a reason for hiding where he is? Delma replied, I don't care, just take me to him. The man emphasized, I'm not sure he wants to see you. But the boy's voice was very sincere. I'm sure he misses me very much. Labdanum smiled, his tone implying, Is that so? Very well, I will take you to the first prince. Never take off this cloak. It is a holy relic that will return you immediately if your life is threatened. Delma wondered, Why would I need this to see my brother? Labdanum reassured him, just in case. Be careful, Your Highness. The boy was confused. In case of what? Where am I going that I would need this? Delma's voice was full of anxiety. Wait, Labdanum, wait! In the end, only the man was left in the space. Labdanum gave a faint smile, hidden behind his cloak, and leisurely lifted his teacup to take a sip. Labdanum said with a hidden meaning, I hope you won't be punished for this, my poor prince. And at that moment, Aurelio and Luce were strolling down the street. Luce sat on a park bench and exclaimed happily, I didn't expect the festival to be so much fun. When they played the dart-throwing game, she clapped and cheered when Aurelio hit the target. You hit all of them! At the prize wheel, Luce raised her hands and shouted, Awesome, we got first place. During the treasure hunt, she was amazed to see him holding the prize box. You found it already? Now Luce looked at the pile of prizes in front of them and cheered. Lev, thanks to you, we won so many things. We bought books and ate ice cream too. It was so much fun. By the way, are you really giving all of this to me? I don't want to take everything. Aurelio smiled softly, his tone indulgent. Of course, Luce. Seeing you this happy is enough. The two of them suddenly became very shy after that statement. Luce's face turned red as she thought, Lev is saying things that could be easily misunderstood again. A second later, she chided herself. No, I'm probably just overthinking it. Then Luce held up a small globe with a snow-covered house inside and said, Then you keep this snow globe. Lev? He hesitated. But that's the one you like the most, she said gently. That's why I want to give it to you. I want you to remember me when you look at it. Aurelio stared at it and said to himself, A memory with Luce. He finally took it. All right, if you say so, I'll keep it and remember today. The scene shifted to another location and a murmur rose. Let's register for the competition. Those who want to participate, please come this way. Aurelio suddenly asked, Luce, what place do you want to get in today's competition? Luce replied with spirit, I want to get second place, that would be great. He was surprised. Why? I think you could easily get first place. Hearing this, she laughed and exclaimed, Lev, of course first place is great, but I don't want to put too much pressure on it. I like second place, getting that would make me really happy. It's all about having fun. Aurelio was suddenly thoughtful. Second place is enough to make her happy. I always thought I had to be first in everything. But now I understand, even if it's not perfect, as long as I'm happy, that's enough. Luce added another sentence. Besides, I'm not interested in the first place prize of a trip to the capital. He chimed in. Me neither. She smiled brightly and replied, I knew you were the same as me. Suddenly, Luce froze for a few seconds. She looked at the shop in front of them and remembered, "That's right, Mom told me to go to that shop." Then Luce turned and said, "Lev, I forgot my mom asked me to do something. I'll be right back. Can you go wait for me up ahead?" Aurelio agreed. "Yeah, okay. See you later?" Luce quickly walked away, waving goodbye. Yeah. Not long after, in front of the registration room for the Rodante competition, the people there were constantly whispering. Aurelio looked around for a while, searching. "Where's Luce?" Suddenly, someone approached him from behind and demanded, "Why isn't anyone answering? Can't you hear me?" Delma was holding someone's hand and making a scene. "There's no way you've never met him. Has no one ever seen someone with black hair and red eyes?" Aurelio recognized the familiar face and realized, Delma. What is he doing here and looking for me too? At that moment, Delma was relentlessly asking, "He's very tall. You'd know him if you saw him, don't lie to me. Where is he?" Suddenly, a hand was placed on his shoulder. Aurelio looked at him with a sinister gaze. "Delma, what are you doing here?" The boy was overjoyed to see him and called out, "Brother Aurelio." After that, the two of them walked into a dark corner together. Delma followed, chattering nonstop. "Are you okay? You suddenly disappeared and I missed you so much." Aurelio wondered, "How did you get here?" The boy confessed honestly, "I had Labdanum bring me here, brother." He asked in confusion, "Why?" Delma clashed his hands together and explained, "Because I missed you to death. I missed you so much, brother Aurelio." Aurelio Levinas Hadassah was the name of the crown prince who was born in the royal palace but was exiled due to his humble origins. At that moment, he fell into deep thought. "I just gave up that name." Then he asked softly, "You don't look down on me for being the son of a concubine?" Delma looked up happily and replied, "Of course. I don't care about all that etiquette stuff. I just want to be with you." Aurelio muttered, "That's right. You can do whatever you want because no one would dare to reprimand you. But you know very well that if you make a mistake, I have to take responsibility for it." The boy, oblivious as his brother tied the ribbon on his shirt, just said, "Yes," he said coldly. "Don't act like you don't know anything. Why do you think I'm here? If they find out you're here, I'll be moved to another place." Where would that be? Would it really be hell? The boy's face turned pale as Aurelio pulled his hand back. He stepped back. "But I don't hate you. I was forced to come here, but I like this place. Really, this place is much better than the palace." Delma quickly tried to explain, "I don't understand what you're saying. Brother Aurelio, come back to the palace with me. Let me tell father." He cut him off. Stop it. Do you want me to be punished? Go, Delma." Feeling rejected, the boy was too sad to speak. "Brother Aurelio, I understand. I was a bit rash today, wasn't I? Next time I'll follow proper etiquette before visiting you. Because when you're away from home, people tend to feel lonely." Aurelio's lips moved. "So it seems you don't understand what I'm saying? Don't ever come here again. I don't want to see your face. There won't be a next time. This is my final warning." His words only stunned the boy further. "Brother Aurelio." Suddenly a voice called out. Luce appeared behind them, making him turn in surprise to look at her. She, unaware of the situation, said cheerfully, "There you are. I've been looking for you. What are you doing here? The competition is about to start." Delma stared at her, while Aurelio just called out softly, "Luce, this boy was lost. I was helping him." Then he turned his face and gestured to Delma. "Go." The boy bowed his head worriedly and played along. "Thank you, sir. I'll be going now." Luce immediately raised her hand to wave as Delma turned to leave. "Get home safe," Aurelio said gently. "I'm sorry for not waiting where you told me to." She replied, "It's okay. I've already registered." He was a little surprised. "You have?" At that moment, Delma thought with his eyes closed, "Brother Aurelio has changed. But why is the cloak activating now? Doesn't it only activate when my life is in danger? Could it be because Brother Aurelio is wary of me?" The boy disappeared in a flash of purple magic, leaving only the two of them. But why? At that moment, Aurelio's voice rang out, "I'm sorry, it's my fault. The competition has probably started already." Luce smiled brightly and retorted, "No, you had to help a lost boy. With our abilities, we should be fine. Look, we made it. Let's go, Lev." Suddenly, she was surprised to see him walk forward. "Lev, where are you going?" "That's the area for the Rodante's Mr. and Mrs. competition." Aurelio turned his head in surprise and exclaimed, "Huh?" Luce looked at the area for the fun competition and muttered, "I think that's the area for the Rodante's Mr. and Ms. competition," which made her exclaim, "I think there's been a misunderstanding between us." Lev laughed. "No wonder you were so confused. So that's why you dressed like that?" The handsome suit and his words from earlier immediately came to mind. I think I need to dress as formally as possible." Lev could only cover his mouth and laugh, exclaiming, "Seriously, Lev has a cute side too." Aurelio hesitated and said, It's a good thing we noticed in time. She urged him, Yes, let's hurry. Has it started already? When she peeked her head in, someone asked, Are you two here for the fun competition? She confirmed, Yes. I'm sorry for being late. Is it still possible to join? Alice rested her chin on her hand and whispered, Normally, no, but there are so few contestants this year, so it's fine. Come in. You'll be marked as having 3 wrong answers. Hearing this, Luce turned back and cheered, That's great, Lev. We get to participate. The woman urged them, Hurry up and come in. It's break time right now. She quickly replied, Yes, thank you so much. Let's go, Lev. He said softly. Okay, I'll do my best. The two of them then sat down inside, taking off their hats together. Luce looked around for a moment. Let's see. There aren't many contestants. That person over there must be the host, right? Why does he look so bored? With this atmosphere, maybe we can catch up soon. She suddenly turned and whispered, Lev, you don't need to be so stressed. I've studied hard, so… Luce saw Aurelio's whole body trembling as if a fire was burning around him and called out worriedly, Lev? Suddenly, his pupils widened completely. The referee looked at the answer announcement for the next question. At that moment, Aurelio also raised his board with that answer. Luce was immediately impressed. That's amazing. You've gotten 10 questions right in a row. You're so smart. You didn't even prepare anything beforehand. He said modestly, It was just luck. She continued to praise him. But none of the questions were easy. You're very intelligent. That's amazing. How does Lev know all these things? Alice held up a piece of paper and announced, This is the final question. A long time ago, the former emperor killed all the magicians who had ill intentions towards the kingdom. At that time, all the magicians had surrendered, except for one who persisted until the end. Although he was a traitor, he was still honored with a memorial due to his superior intellect and magic. What was the name of that magician? Aurelio furrowed his brow upon hearing this and fell into deep thought. The others turned to discuss. I've never heard this story before. Weren't all the magicians killed? How are we supposed to know the answer? Luce had to admit, this question is really hard. Do you know the answer? He smiled softly. I do. But if we answer correctly, we'll get first place. So let's not. She rested her chin on her hands and whispered, Then just tell me the answer. Aurelio agreed. All right, I'll just tell you. The answer is… Alice also raised her hand and said, And the correct answer is… Aurelio's lips moved. Labdanum. The woman also gave the result. Labdanum. The last magician of the Vladimir kingdom was named Labdanum. Johann saw this and exclaimed, I knew it. This question is too hard for the kids, right? Rodante suddenly sat up and interrupted. Wait. The woman announced, and so the Rodante fun competition has come to an end. He looked at the two of them and wondered, Didn't those 2 kids answer correctly? The man replied in confusion. They did? They were too far away, so I couldn't hear clearly. This made Rodante think for a moment. He looked at them laughing and joking happily and questioned, Those 2 kids answered almost all the questions correctly, didn't they? Johann, keep an eye on them. Rodante mused. Maybe they could be useful. Not long after, someone cheered in front of a bag of gold coins. It's real gold. Lev raised his hand in excitement and gratitude. Thank you, Lev. It's all thanks to you. Aurelio held it in his hands and said, Congratulations, Luce. What are you going to do with the prize money? She immediately had an idea. First, maybe I'll buy a dress for my mom. I always see her mending her dresses, and it makes me worry. I'm sure she'd want a new one. He suddenly exclaimed, Really? Then I want to buy a gift for your mom, too. If you need more money, you can use mine. Luce exclaimed in confusion. Huh? What are you talking about? Luce said we'd split the prize money. He explained. Your mom has always been very kind to me. I want to repay her, too. Luce scratched her cheek in embarrassment and said, I appreciate your kindness, but… All right. I'd feel bad taking your money, so I'll give you 3 wishes. Aurelio was momentarily stunned and repeated, Wishes? She held up 3 fingers and continued, I feel like I've already received so much from you. I want to help you with something, too. His cheeks suddenly turned red, and he could only go along with it. All right, if that's how you feel, I agree. Aurelio then looked at Luce's bright smile and thought, No, Luce, you're putting yourself down again. I've received so much. You're always so warm and kind. No matter how hard I try, I'll never be able to repay that affection. It would be great if we could stay like this forever. The scene shifted to a shop, and someone exclaimed, Oh my God, look at those outfits. How can they be so beautiful? The trim on that dress is so cute. Oh, I like this shirt too. Luce clasped her hands together and said, Let's have a great time shopping. She held up 2 dresses and turned to continue. Lev, look, between these 2… Aurelio at that moment was carrying a pile of clothes on his head and called out, What did you just say, Luce? She quickly ran over. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Do you want to rest for a bit? He replied wearily. Sorry, I'll just go sit over there for a bit. Luce forced a smile and blamed herself. Oh my god, I guess I got too excited. I haven't been shopping in years, so… Suddenly something caught Luce's attention. She looked at the necklace, staring in awe. This necklace is so gorgeous. I wonder if it's expensive. Oh well, forget it. Why am I even thinking about it? I should just look at the rest of the clothes. Aurelio just sat on a chair in silence, waiting for her to finish shopping. Not long after the evening twilight fell, she sat in the carriage and asked, Lev, what was your favorite thing to do today? He thought for a moment, and then replied, I don't think I can choose. Playing games, shopping, solving puzzles, those were all things I did for the first time. Luce was surprised. Really? You've never done those things before? Then next festival, do you want to go with me again? Aurelio repeated in surprise. Next festival? He shyly raised his hand to cover his mouth, making her guess. You don't want to? Aurelio looked serious. By then, I don't think I'll be able to participate in the puzzle solving anymore. Seeing this, Luce's face froze for a few seconds. She patted his shoulder and explained, I'm not asking you to solve puzzles. Of course it would be great if I won a lot of money. Aurelio replied naively. Really? Luce affirmed. Yes. I bought a lot of gifts to thank you, and I feel very happy. I want us to go to the festival again because I want to spend a fun time with you. This statement made Aurelio's cheeks turn red again. He suddenly spoke, surprising Luce. Hey, while we're on the topic, can I use a wish now? She watched him reach into his pocket and wondered, so soon? Aurelio pulled out the very necklace Luce had been eyeing and said, I remember you didn't buy anything. I bought this because I thought it would suit you. Will you accept it? She looked at it and immediately recognized it. This is the necklace I was looking at earlier. Luce's heart skipped a beat. It seems very expensive. How did you… Aurelio interrupted. I really want you to wear it. He sat closer and offered, Can I put it on for you? Then she turned around to let Aurelio put the necklace on her, so he was watching me. How long has he been doing that? I really didn't buy anything for myself. He wouldn't have known if he hadn't been paying close attention to me. After that, he pulled his hand back and said, There, it suits you perfectly. This made Luce wonder, how much attention has he been paying? She raised her hand to lift the pendant and heard his words in her ear. Thank you for accepting my gift. Suddenly, Luce's lips moved. Hurry up and think of your next wish. It feels like I'm the one getting a wish. Aurelio's face froze. Next wish? Wish for you to stroke my hair? She brushed it off. Not that kind. I can do that whenever you want. Think of something like a real wish. Lev happily stroked his head and smiled brightly. Okay, I will. She thought to herself, I can never really win against Lev. Aurelio said a thank you, Luce. She immediately denied it. No, I should be the one thanking you. Not long after, Luce was in her house wondering, I'm home? No one's home? Mom's not back yet? I want to show her these gifts quickly. But that last question sounded familiar. Labdanum? I've heard that name before. Just then, a knock on the door and a shout made her jump. Miss Luce! She looked towards the door and asked, Who is it? A voice from outside said, You won the Rodante puzzle game, right? We forgot to get your signature before giving you the prize. The person pleaded, Please open the door. A second later, she was walking and thinking, What? After all this time, I hope it's not too much trouble. The moment Luce reached out her hand, she paused. Wait, I didn't write my address on the registration form? What if it's a bad person? Then she made an excuse. I'm sorry, but I'm a little tired. Can you come back tomorrow? The person could only reply, I understand, I'll go back now. Luce quickly pressed her ear against the door, sensing that they were leaving. Sure enough, the mysterious person had stepped out of the building. Suddenly, the person turned around and let out a cold snort. Labdanum rubbed his chin and muttered, She's quite a sensitive person. It would be interesting to work with her. A while later, Chelsea stood with her hands on her hips and demanded, What happened? Who dares to follow my daughter? Let me catch them and teach them a lesson. Luce tried to stop her. I'm fine, so it's okay, Mom. Don't be like that and open your gift. Lev and I got the best things for you. She quickly held up the dress in the box and exclaimed, It's so beautiful. I'm so proud of you. She asked happily, Right? A second later, Chelsea paused, noticing something strange. She looked at Luce's necklace and wondered, But Luce, where did you get that necklace? She confessed honestly, This? Lev gave it to me. Her mother asked, Really? Luce confirmed, Yes. Why, Mom? Chelsea thought to herself, It's really expensive. I'm not sure if it's okay to give a child such a valuable gift. But she replied casually, It's nothing. By the way, make sure you always lock the door carefully. From tomorrow, I'll be very busy. Luce was surprised. You'll be busy? Her mother nodded and replied, Yes. Suddenly, a smile spread across Chelsea's lips. She announced, Dahlia and I have opened a grocery store in Rodante. Another season passed since Chelsea opened the general store, and many things had changed in Luce's life. Inside the shop, a voice called out, Excuse me, can you help me find a few items? She quickly replied, Yes, wait a moment, I'll be right there. Luce looked at the people around her and thought, Every day is so busy. At that moment, her mother and Dahlia were cheerfully chatting with customers. I'll be right there, thank you. Seeing this made her happy too. I'm so glad Mom looks so happy. Should I say she seems full of energy since opening the store? Not long after, Luce exclaimed, A great day, everyone! Then the closed sign was hung outside. Dominic sat inside and wondered, Why do you seem so excited? She sighed and complained, You don't know how busy the store has been. First, Chelsea and Dahlia's store is doing very well. He clenched his fist and said evasively, I wanted to help you, but I've been very busy lately. Luce guessed, You mean at the forge? Second, Dominic had started learning new skills at the forge. He pulled out an item and said, Yes, I made this. Do you want to see? She eagerly demanded, Show me. A moment later, a small bear was pulled out. Luce burst out laughing. What is this? Dominic shouted in embarrassment. Don't make fun of me. I spent the whole day making it. It's because I'm just learning. In the future, I'll do better. At that moment, she smiled and rested her chin on her hand, thinking, Should I fix this part a little? Both Mom and Dominic are enjoying their work. I feel a little jealous. Just then, Chelsea spoke up. Kids, let's close up and go home. At first, Luce just wanted to relax and have fun, but after seeing everyone working hard, she had a thought. And third, Luce placed her apron on the table and thought to herself, All right, I'll find a job I want to do. I have a goal too. The scene shifted outside, where bare tree branches were covered in a layer of white snow. A voice from Aurelio's house said, Thank you for coming. He brought a drink over and asked, Are you cold? Here, have some hot cocoa. She happily accepted. Thanks, Lev, this is nice. At that moment, Luce noticed the bandage on Aurelio's thumb. Huh? That's a new wound. Suddenly, he called out softly, making her look up from her drink. Huh? Aurelio wondered. Have you finished reading the introduction to math book I gave you? Luce looked away and answered hesitantly, did I read it? She thought back. After that day, I told Lev about my worries, and he suggested, Then why don't we try studying together? Aurelio placed a pile of books on the table, startling her. The theory of starting education. He asked with a smile. Should we start with math, the foundation of all subjects? Back in the present, Luce was crying inside, telling herself, I don't think I can get along with math. She quickly raised her hand and shouted, Wait, we should start studying a different subject today. Not math, Aurelio exclaimed in surprise. A different subject? For example? Luce's smirk froze for a few seconds and she mumbled two words. For example? Not long after, two words echoed outdoors. Physics. Aurelio raised his hand to shield himself from the snow and exclaimed, Luce, your attitude is completely different from when you have to study math. She threw a snowball and said, Sorry, I'm really not interested in math. Should I become a professional snowball thrower? He encouraged her. That's not a bad idea. Luce immediately scolded him. What are you talking about? Don't just agree with everything I say. He lay on the snow, turned his face, and explained, I want you to do things that make you happy, Luce. She also expressed her feelings. Me too. By the way, Lev, if there's anything you want to do, don't forget to tell me. I remember you still have a wish, right? Aurelio answered hesitantly. Actually, Luce urged him impatiently. Anything, just tell me. He offered. Can I treat you to dinner tonight? A moment later, a fire was crackling in the fireplace of Aurelio's house. She couldn't help but secretly watch him cook from a distance. Luce's eyes were glued to him, and she thought, He's suddenly cooking. Another thing I couldn't have imagined. Does he like to cook? Or is this a wish he wanted to try? At the same time, several cookbooks caught Luce's eye. She looked at them suspiciously. These are all cookbooks. Don't tell me. Suddenly he called, Luce! Luce jumped and turned to reply, Yes, you called me. At that moment, her face turned red and she was dazed for a few seconds. Aurelio held a cake in his hands and exclaimed happily, Happy birthday! Luce looked at the feast on the table and wondered, You prepared this for my birthday? He put the cake down and admitted, Yes, you told me once. She observed them and said, But that was just something I said in the past. Aurelio cut her off. It's your special day, so I wanted it to be filled with things you like. Luce was so moved that she rushed to hug him. Lev, thank you. I've never been this happy. Aurelio's tone was full of affection. Actually, it seems like you're always on my mind, so I'm happy to see you like this. She said coquettishly, Lev, how can you be so nice? In her heart, she was very flustered. Please wait. I should do something to repay him too. A while later, all the food on the table was gone. Aurelio watched Luce sleep soundly and thought, I'm glad to see Luce so lively. I was worried because I prepared everything in a hurry. Next time, I'll do a better job preparing for your birthday. Suddenly, someone appeared, making him glance towards the door. The sound of footsteps made Aurelio suspicious. Who is it? Labdanum? He's not supposed to come today. Could it be Delma? I warned him, but he still came. Diana then slowly descended the stairs. I've found you, Aurelio, he exclaimed in surprise. What brings you here? Aurelio stared at her stern face and said, Your Majesty. Diana's voice rang out. You've grown a lot since the last time I saw you, Aurelio, he asked in a panic. You think so? She tilted her head and replied, Yes. Are you uncomfortable? Do you need any help? Aurelio bowed his head politely. I'm fine, thank you for your concern. He suddenly glanced to the side and wondered, what is she doing here all of a sudden? I thought there was no reason to see her again. If there's a serious problem for her to visit, then... Suddenly Diana turned and spoke. To be honest, I was quite surprised. Aurelio thought of Diana and Delma and guessed, she's probably still worried about the next successor. At that moment, her tone lowered. I'm a little worried about that. He told himself he wouldn't let her into the room to find any weaknesses to use against him, then replied, I believe there was a reason for the Emperor's decision. Diana then asked, Yes, Aurelio. So you're still well and not in any danger, right? Aurelio confirmed, Yes, Your Majesty. She narrowed her eyes and demanded, Really? I finished my inspection, so I'll be leaving now. Do you have anything you want to say to me? He was momentarily surprised and thought to himself, She's just leaving like that? Seeing Aurelio's silence, Diana turned back and reminded him, No? Don't forget to take your medicine. He placed his hand on the stairs and replied tensely, Yes, I will. Then looked at the bright light and wondered, did she really just come to see how I was doing? If so, it's not too bad to be left on a remote mountain like this. They come like they're checking on a pet when they're bored. His hand suddenly clenched. Aurelio thought of the other three and sighed to himself. It's not pleasant to be checked on by each of them. Maybe they think I've changed a little. Not long after, he pushed the door open and slowly walked in. Aurelio looked down at the sleeping Luce and called out softly, Luce, just being with you is enough for me. But I won't let anything get in the way of me being with you. He took her hand and thought, I need a plan to protect myself and Luce. I definitely won't let Luce get into any danger. The scene shifted to the next day and Aurelio asked, How are you, Luce? He looked at her pale face and guessed, You don't look well. Are you tired? Luce denied it. No, Lev, I'm fine. She touched her stomach and wondered, Did I eat too fast yesterday? My stomach feels a little upset. Luce suddenly spoke up. I think I have indigestion. Do you have any medicine? Hearing this, Aurelio let out a sad oh and said, I'm sorry, Luce, I didn't prepare anything like that. She quickly waved her hand and cut him off. It's okay, you don't need to apologize. I'll go buy some, let's go to the pharmacy, he exclaimed in surprise. The pharmacy? He rubbed his chin in thought, making Luce ask in confusion, What's wrong, Lev? He hesitated and said, Well, in Zenon village? At that moment, it was snowing outside. In front of a house, Luce exclaimed in surprise to herself, What? The sound of the wind whistling past made her even more suspicious. How can this be? Luce froze for about 2 seconds. She looked at the pharmacy in front of her and lamented, Our village's pharmacy is so run down. The old woman raised her hand and asked, Does your stomach hurt? Would you like some honey? Luce raised her hand helplessly and replied, No, thank you. Let's go back. I understand. Our village doesn't have a proper pharmacy at all. Aurelio turned his face and revealed, I heard there's a good pharmacist in the village on the next mountain. I'm sorry, Luce. Maybe there was something wrong with the food I cooked. She waved her hand and retorted, No, it was delicious. It's not your fault. I think it's because I slept right after eating, but I can handle it. Let's go for a walk now. Luce walked dejectedly and thought, This world, I've really gone back in time. I didn't expect finding medicine to be so difficult. Because Lev always takes medicine, I thought. Come to think of it, I don't know what that medicine is, but it doesn't look normal, and it must be very difficult to make. Suddenly, Luce's eyes widened completely. She thought of the various herbs, mortars, and glass vials and wondered, what if I learn how to make medicine? Pharmacology isn't very developed here. I think a lot of people would want to use it. And I could also help Lev. Just then he asked, Luce, did something good happen? You look very happy. She answered hesitantly, Lev, I was just thinking of a few things I want to do. At the same time, Johann pointed forward and shouted, Wait! He quickly ran towards them. Johann demanded, You two got second place in the puzzle-solving competition during the summer festival, right? Luce glanced over in surprise and confirmed, We did, but who are you? Johann let out a sigh of relief and introduced himself with a bright smile. I found you. I'm so happy to see you two. I'm Johann, Lord Rodante's aide. Can you spare me some time now? Come with me. The two of them immediately hugged each other tightly. Her tone was very firm. Where are we going? If it's about the prize money, we've already used it all, so we can't give it back. He laughed and denied it. Prize money? It's not about that. He looked at the two of them and announced, My lord wants to see you. In the middle of the snow-covered forest, a conversation was taking place. Aide Johann. Yes, what is it? The wheels were still rolling on the snow. Inside the carriage, someone asked a question. Why does your master suddenly want to see us? He sat between Aurelio and Luce, smiling brightly and saying with a hidden meaning, About that, you'll know when we get there. Hearing this, she glanced over and muttered, He doesn't want to say. Luce thought deeply. Could it be because of what happened at the festival? Lev said it very clearly. Labdanum. Johann reassured them. There's nothing to worry about, just relax. I think we're almost there. That's Rodante Castle. At that moment, Aurelio was staring out the window. He looked at his reflection in the glass and worried, Does he know my identity? No, I could be kicked out of this place if there's any contact with the Emperor here. I need to calm down, I should take my medicine. Suddenly, Aurelio's pupils widened completely. He searched his pockets and suddenly realized, No, I forgot my medicine. Seeing this, Luce turned and asked, Lev, what's wrong? You suddenly look unwell. Aurelio smiled softly and denied it. Oh no, I'm probably just a little tired. I'm probably a little worried about meeting the Lord. She tilted her head forward and wondered, Really? You're not feeling well? He still insisted, No, I'm just worried. Then he thought, I'm sure nothing will happen. Not long after, the three of them were in a room. A voice rang out. So you two are Luce and Levinus, right? Thank you for accepting my invitation. It's a pleasure to meet you. She bowed her head and greeted politely. It's a pleasure to meet you, my lord. It's an honor. He waved his hand a few times, cutting off the greeting. That's enough. Now why don't we relax and chat for a bit? Luce and Aurelio were a little surprised. Johann just smiled and followed along, and they sat down at a tea table. She secretly deduced, hot tea and sweets? He's really welcoming us. What does he want to talk to us about? What would make us travel so far to get here? Just then, Rodante called out, Luce Levinus, you heard the final question of the puzzle game last summer, right? She answered honestly, Yes, we read about it in a book but weren't sure, so we didn't write down the answer. Rodante looked at the hot tea and exclaimed in surprise, Really? The truth is, not many people know about that magician. Only two types of people are interested in him, those of high status or those with an academic interest. He slowly lifted his teacup. So, I was wondering if you two are interested in research. Both of them nodded eagerly after hearing this. Rodante continued to probe. And are you two interested in going to the capital? Are you adults yet? This question made them shake their heads immediately. He and Johann immediately became very excited. I understand. It's wonderful to hear that. I finally found the extremely talented people of Rodante. Are you interested in studying anything else? Tell me. I'll arrange whatever you want. Luce asked in confusion. What do you mean? Johann started to cry and complain. The truth is, we're currently looking for talented people to serve Rodante for a long time. But after they finish their studies, they all leave for the capital. Just when we couldn't find any children to teach, we met you two at the puzzle competition. Rodante quickly tried to persuade them. You have no idea how hard we've been looking for you. Anything. Teachers, books, I'll provide everything. Hearing this, Luce suddenly mumbled. Anything? So, I've been looking recently, but there are no proper pharmacies in Rodante. He repeated curiously, Pharmacies? Luce recalled the past and said, Yes, when I was sick I needed medicine, but at that time I was very frustrated because I couldn't find any. I couldn't stand it. That's why I want to study medicine. Time passed. The scene shifted to the forest outside, and the conversation between her and Aurelio echoed everywhere. Today, for some reason, felt very long. I know a lot of unbelievable things are happening, right? Luce happily got out of the carriage and smiled brightly. Yes, I was very surprised by the subjects I wanted to study. At that moment, Aurelio wondered, Items and martial arts? Since when were you interested in those things? She exclaimed excitedly. It's good that we're learning different things when we have the chance. I'm in a good mood. Let's try to do it well. He stood beside her and could only go along with it. All right, let's work hard together, so... I'm sorry, but I have to go back first. You can go home alone, right? Luce affirmed. Of course, see you later, Lev. Aurelio then turned to leave. Seeing this made her curious. Luce looked down at his heels and wondered, why does he look so tired? Not long after, Luce was knocking on his door. Lev! Lev! Are you home? Open the door? You said you'd open the door when I knocked 10 times. Finally, she decided to open the door herself and muttered, Sorry for bothering you. She looked around and wondered, Why is it so quiet inside? Suddenly, a scream from upstairs caught Luce's attention. She widened her eyes and exclaimed, "Over there!" Luce didn't hesitate and quickly went up the stairs. The moment she was almost there, she was horrified. Luce was momentarily frightened when she saw Aurelio collapsed on the floor. "Oh my God, Lev!" She looked at his flushed face and labored breathing and shouted, "Wake up!" At that moment, Aurelio was sweating profusely and scared. "I can't see anything. I can't move either." It seemed like someone was wrapping a white cloth over his eyes. At that moment, Aurelio was kneeling and panting. "Ah, I see now that I'm being punished." Suddenly, a sound made him turn his head. "Someone's there?" A young woman's feet approached, making Aurelio guess. A knight walks heavily, a maid walks lightly, and Delma has a leap in his step. The emperor doesn't see me, and Labdanum is silent when he walks. He silently felt each footstep and deduced. The person walking carefully in the palace is Mother. Her face immediately appeared. "My prince, as long as I am here, my status will bind you." Aurelio immediately denied it. "No, that's not true." His mother touched her necklace, her tone mournful. "As a mother, I should protect you. How could I hurt you?" Aurelio struggled against his chains and vehemently retorted, "Hurt? What are you talking about? That's not what I want." She suddenly turned and realized, "It's time for me to go." The moment his mother walked away, Aurelio pleaded in pain, "Please don't leave me in this desolate palace." "Mother, it's so cold and scary here. Please take me with you." Hearing this, his mother suddenly turned her head decisively. She sadly left him with a few words, "Be happy, Lev." Back to reality. Luce was placing her hand on Aurelio's forehead while he kept calling out, "Mom!" She couldn't help but exclaim in worry, "He's so hot, I can't leave. I should call someone." Suddenly, Aurelio grabbed Luce's wrist and stopped her. "Don't go!" She glanced back in surprise and exclaimed, "Huh?" He closed his eyes tightly and begged, "Don't leave me." She was a little surprised and guessed, "What?" "I thought he was awake." Luce's eyelids suddenly drooped, and sadness was evident in her eyes. Luce took Aurelio's hand and comforted him. "You don't have to be afraid. I won't leave you, so don't worry. I need something cold to bring his temperature down." Just then, she noticed a glass vial nearby. Luce stared at it and muttered, "That medicine bottle? It's the one that's always with him. Maybe he'll feel better if I give it to him." Suddenly, her pupils widened completely. Luce watched a drop of green liquid ooze out and worried, "Oh no, this medicine is too concentrated, I can't give it to him." At that moment, Aurelio grabbed her wrist again and pleaded, "Don't go!" Luce was very conflicted. She bit her lip and sweat dripped down. She bent down and whispered, "Lev, can you trust me? I'm sorry for this." But right after that, Luce bravely poured the medicine into her mouth. She leaned down and lightly touched Aurelio's lips with the thought, "I can't just sit here and let him get worse." A while later, Luce slowly pulled her arm back. In the quiet house, her sigh echoed everywhere. Luce observed Aurelio's face and concluded, "Good, I think his fever has gone down. This medicine is so strange it made Lev's condition improve immediately. Is its ingredient a sedative or something? Huh? Why can't I suddenly see anything? I need to protect Lev until he wakes up." Then she collapsed onto the floor. Not long after, sunlight shone through the window. Aurelio woke up, holding his head and wondering, "My head hurts so much. What am I doing here?" Suddenly, his gaze was fixed on the side. Aurelio was surprised to see Luce lying next to him and called out, "Luce, I don't remember taking any medicine, but I can taste it in my mouth." "That means, Luce, did you give me the medicine?" He suddenly noticed a small drop at the corner of her mouth. "Wait, this is..." Aurelio remembered Labdanum's warning. "Your Highness, only you can take this medicine. It was formulated for your illness. If you give it to someone else, they will be poisoned." This made his heart race. Aurelio quickly shook Luce and called out, "Luce, wake up!" He hugged her tightly in fear and shouted, "Wake up, Luce!"